Hey guys, today we're going to see the world's largest religious structure. When people ask what is the largest religious structure in the world, people generally think it would be a church or a mosque. But no, it is a Hindu temple, but it's not located in India, it's located in Cambodia. And this is not a recent structure either. It was built many centuries ago, and this is very big. So let's go take a look and see how it looks.
I'm at the temple parking lot and I'm leaving my bike here. This is very strange because I don't see any temple towers at all. I have visited a lot of temples, and when I usually park my car or bike, I will see the temple towers. But I don't see the towers of Angkor Wat temple. I'm confused about this. Why is this happening? The authorities tell me that I have to walk for nearly 10 minutes before I start seeing the temple towers. First, I have to cross this massive lake. You see this lake? It is huge. I cannot even see the land on the other side, and it is in the way of the temple. I walk for nearly 5 minutes, and then I observe something very strange. I look on the banks of the lake, and I'm shocked. Even though the banks are completely covered with bushes and trees, I can see neatly cut giant rectangular stone blocks aligned all around the bank. This is not a natural lake. This is an artificial water body called Moat, created by ancient builders. I mean, this is extraordinary. How were they able to create such a large moat, which almost looks like a lake? See, this is why I had to park my bike outside the moat. The moat completely surrounds the temple on all 4 sides. And how big is this moat? Normally, when we talk about man-made structures, we use units like feet or meters. But this is the largest structure in the world. These units are too small. We have to use kilometers and miles for this one. The moat stretches for 1.3 kilometers from south to north and 1.5 kilometers from east to west. So it is approximately 1 mile each way, and it completely surrounds the temple on all 4 sides with a perimeter of a whopping 5.5 kilometers. That's about 3.5 miles. My first thought is, how could they dig such a moat with human hands? According to historians, this was created at least 900 years ago with no more than digging sticks, spades, and shovels. And experts claim it was built in just a few years. How is this possible? Maybe this moat was possible because it is only 1 or 2 feet deep. This would have reduced the amount of manual work required. It looks like a lake because we see it from the land, but maybe it is just 1 or 2 feet deep. We cannot see the depth of it from the outside. I'm very curious to find the depth of the moat, so I walk around the moat to see if I could find more evidence. Most people you see are tourists, so I need to find Cambodians who work here so they can give me authentic information about its depth. And then I see something crazy. People are using boats in this moat. These people are working in Angkor Wat Temple Complex, and they actually have several boats which go around the moat every day, and they clean out unwanted plants. They take a long stick and keep swirling it in the water and watch how many plants come out of the water. They tell me that the moat is 12 to 25 feet deep. That is an astounding depth. And to dig a moat of this magnitude with such depth is just insane. Imagine digging an artificial lake which stretches for 1 mile each way, that is 12 to 25 feet deep. And this was done 900 years ago. And some experts will argue that ancient people of Cambodia were barbarians. So they captured millions of slaves and they forced them to dig this moat with brute force. But this moat was not constructed crudely or hastily. It was built with perfection in mind. The workers must have been talented artisans, not unskilled slaves. How did they construct such a giant structure which still fools most of the tourists into believing that they're looking at a beautiful natural lake? How did they arrange giant stone blocks all around the moat, both on the outer side and on the inner side, creating a perfect architecture? If we look carefully, we can see the stone steps going into the water as far as we can see. How deep do these stone steps go? And there is something even more strange. Locals confirm that this moat has never dried up, and no one has ever seen the bottom of it. How is it always full of water? The architect of this temple did not just dig a large ditch around the temple. I mean, if you just dig a ditch, it will always be dry. He strategically connected the moat to canals and the river which flows nearby. This is why it is always full of water. There is also another reason why the moat never gets dry. In 2007, when the World Monuments Fund organization was renovating the roof of the temple, they found a very advanced original drainage system which allows rainwater to drain from all over the building through many channels, but finally drains everything into the moat. This ensured that the temple would get rid of any stagnating water which could cause damage to the stones of the temple, while harvesting the rainwater and increasing the water level of the moat. So the ancient architect killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Now, what was the purpose of this moat? A moat, by definition, is a defense mechanism which protects the structure inside. So if someone came in with an army of 50,000 people to capture Angkor Wat, they cannot attack it from all sides. They will be forced to walk in through the narrow causeways, which are the only land passages on east and west sides, and they can be killed off easily. Some locals even claim that there were thousands of crocodiles in this moat during ancient times. And these crocodiles would kill the enemies if they tried to use boats to come into Angkor Wat. But there's a hole in the story. Angkor Wat is not a fort or a castle where the king lived. It was a temple, right? So why does it need such a large defense structure around it? Think about it. If this is just a temple, just a place of worship, it would have been maintained by a few hundred pious religious priests who would be unarmed, and the enemies can capture it easily anyway. So what was the actual purpose of the moat? Recently, scientists used thermal and lidar imaging techniques from the air, and they discovered something baffling. The moat is not an isolated structure. It is part of a vast waterway system which was interconnected with channels, ponds, tanks, reservoirs, and canals. The waterway system is so large that it spreads beyond the current city limit and gives water to many rice fields. The moat was actually a part of an ancient irrigation system which was crucial for agriculture. Now, experts are trying to excavate and renovate these ancient irrigation canals which have been taken over by trees and bushes. However, this discovery still does not justify why the temple had to be built in the center. The real answer may be hidden underwater, and we may find some evidence when we dive in the water and look what's inside. When we examine Angkor Wat from the air, we realize that this was probably the very first artificial island of its kind. Today, we see many countries trying to create artificial islands. For example, the Palm Jumeirah Island was built in Dubai about 15 years ago. Engineers agree that creating an artificial island is a monumental task that requires every advanced engineering technology known to man. However, today they only build these islands in shallow waters of seas by filling the area with huge amounts of rocks and dirt until the desired height is reached. However, Angkor Wat used the opposite technique. The nearest beach from Angkor Wat is about 200 miles away. The ancient builders used a strange technique of building an artificial water body inland and turned Angkor Wat into an island. That's why Angkor Wat is also called Island Temple. So, what do you think? How did they build this moat? Is it possible to build it with primitive tools? Or did they use advanced technology? And why does a temple need a moat? What is the actual purpose of this? What is hidden in these waters? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.